It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
And welcome to Car Con Carne. I'm James Van Alstyne. Car Con Carne being broadcast from the scenic confines of my home office. Car Con Carne will return to the car in the month of November. Plans are underway to return, which is very exciting. You know, I went back in the car, then I went back to doing virtual. We're going to go back in the car and we'll see if that sticks. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So that's next month. Tomorrow, in the world of podcasting, the Music of Chicago, my other podcast, the sister podcast of Car Con Carne, debuts with a new episode. They debut every Friday, and you can sign up, or not sign up, you can subscribe, you can listen on Google and Apple. And in fact, 2 weeks from tomorrow on the Music of Chicago, it'll be a very special Halloween episode. Halloween and Halloween adjacent spooky songs from Chicago musicians debuting on the 29th. I love this time of year. I love horror movies. Seconds before I jumped on tonight, I just finished watching the new VHS movie, VHS 94 on Shudder, which honestly, kind of awesome. One of the vignettes, maybe not so much. The other ones, totally great. I really enjoyed that. If you're a horror fan, if you don't already have Shudder, I'm not sure what you're doing, but that's definitely something to watch. And I know for a fact my guest tonight enjoys horror, and I know that because we've talked about it before. My guest is singer-songwriter Nathan Graham, a mega talent and a returning favorite on the show. Good evening, Nathan.
Hey, how's it going?
For those keeping track at home, and if they're keeping track at home, that's kind of weird, but you have been on episodes 71, 74, 391, 600, and 671, which is tonight's. You're a frequent flyer, and I love having you on the show.
Oh, I didn't know I was on that many episodes.
Well, we did the one at the hot dog place.
Right.
And then you were on my Taste of Chicago show.
That's right.
And then you did one during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was 600, the Night of 1,000 Stars.
That's right.
Tonight.
Yeah.
So this is your fifth time. I mean, here's perspective for you. Tiffany's only been on twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've only had Billy Corgan on once. You, Nathan Graham, 5 times.
Oh, okay.
See? Here's the funny thing. I think you're an instantly recognizable person. I'm pretty sure I drove right past you on the street a couple weekends ago, and I was in a hurry. I'm like, who's that very tall man with the hat walking around with a guitar in the Ravenswood area? I'm like, it can only be one guy, but I had to keep driving. I'm sure that was. I'm sure it was. I'm sure. And I didn't want to be weird and like speed over to the curb. Nathan, like flag you down. I thought that would have been odd.
No, it would have been fine. I would have stopped for you.
Drove right by you. I'm like, that's Nathan Graham, and you had a guitar. Like, you probably weren't even going anywhere to play it. You just like walking around with it. Just
it's sort of like I'm sort of like a Shogun at this point. I just carry it just in case. And there's like a duel that happens, and I could just whip it out
like something at the crossroads.
Exactly.
So I mentioned last time we had time, just the two of us on this podcast, was during quarantine. You played "I'll Get It Right." You've been back in the world for the past couple months, doing a lot of shows. You did Shubas recently. How does it feel to just kind of be back in the swing of things?
It's good. I mean, it's really weird because of course it hasn't gone back to exactly how it was, Right. So it is a little different. But it's nice to see the faces again, so it's nice to be like actually at venues and playing shows and not feeling as if I'm just like playing into my screen and there may be somebody out there watching, there may not be. But it's nice now because I think people have much more of an appreciation for what we're doing and what we have been doing. So now they're kind of like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to really listen to this because this might get taken away from me in another 6 months, So
for real. I mean, the few live experiences I've had since things have settled down a little bit have been very emotional.
Yeah.
It just as a fan, it's been very emotional. Like, oh my gosh, this is what I love. I'm doing it again.
Yeah.
I can't imagine as a musician how that feels.
Oh yeah. I remember the first thing that I did back was Talia Hall. And I remember I was with Joe George. I think you may know him. But we were sitting backstage and we were like, man, we didn't know how much we missed like loading in and talking backstage.
Yeah.
Like that's a huge part of like getting ready for a show. Like people don't think that, it's like all the technical things of like maybe warming up, maybe like, singing through some songs or whatever. But like a huge part of getting ready for the show is just like sitting backstage and talking.
Well, community.
Yeah. And having that moment to like get into the mindset of playing a show. Like I'm about to do this, So
well, on the show tip, you're coming back, or you're going back to Pilsen on the 29th.
That's right.
And that's Thalia. You said Talia Hall. I've been calling it Thalia Hall. Am I doing this wrong?
I don't know what it is. I said I've heard it's pronounced Talia. I've heard it pronounced Thalia. I've heard it pronounced Thalia. So I have no idea.
There needs to be like a press release from City Hall to set everyone straight on this.
Exactly.
So we need to all be operating from the same playbook.
Exactly. It's got to be that, and Worcestershire sauce needs to have like a definitive. This is how you say this.
Well, no, that's clearly Worcestershire. My problematic word isn't in the pronunciation, Jardinera. It's the one word I can't spell without looking at something. Everyone has that one word that they need to like Google to know how to spell. I fuck up Jardinera every time I try to spell it.
Is it GIARDENEIRA?
I believe so, but I just told you I don't know.
Okay.
So that's my one word. That's my grammatical kryptonite or something.
Yeah.
All right. So Talia Hall on the 29th, and then Space, right? You're going to Space in November.
Yeah. I'm playing Space, and I'm opening up for the Wallflowers.
I didn't know that part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I remember the way that I found out is my dad always asked me about, like, anytime I see him or talk to him, he's like, hey, what's going on with music? Like, any new shows, any new gigs, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, not really. And then as we were sitting there talking, I get this email from Space, and it was like, do you want to open for the Wallflowers? I was like, yes, I would love to do that.
What a great gig. And that's a good match too.
Hopefully. I hope it's a good match.
I think that crowd will totally dig you. I think that's great. And what a cool little room to play too.
I love playing Space, and I've played Space probably 3 times now, and I'd love it every time I go back. And I like what they did for the, like, during the heat of the pandemic. It was like a out of space. So, and I played one of those.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, new song, Somebody Else. Mm-hmm. This started as a voice memo?
Yeah.
Explain that.
So, it pretty much, all of my songs kind of start as a voice memo of me like humming something into the phone. And I have like hundreds and hundreds of voice memos where it's just like, if I die, don't delete my browser history. Delete those, because those are really bad. Some of them are just like stupid, really bad melodies. And so yeah, it started off as that, and I was kind of like playing around with. I had the chords. I had everything that I wanted to, how I wanted it to be laid out. But I didn't really have exactly what I wanted to say in the lyrics, and it was more kind of going towards, like, I didn't want this to just be about, okay, boy meets girl, girl breaks boy's heart. It was like, this was my love story to the music industry and being an artist, so it's like having those push-pull moments of sadness and hope, and going back and forth from that. So that was my intention for this one.
A love story to the music industry. You don't hear many musicians say, I'm going to write a song that's a love letter to the music business. Because most of them view it as a soul-sucking, enervating, horrible thing.
You know what? The thing about it is, like, I think at this point, especially musicians now, there have been enough, documentaries that told you about what was going to happen, for you to just know, okay, like, I'm getting into this. I know there's going to be some things that I need to fight through. Mm-hmm. You just have to accept it. And it's like, it's part of the struggle, and it's upsetting, and it's beautiful and it's heart-wrenching and it's just everything. It's just like all the things together, and you just feel kind of exhausted by it. And I wanted to kind of have, I mean, I've personified it as if it was a relationship, because it is, it's like, it is very much, you and your music and how people that can help you get to the next place see you as an artist. It's like, because most of the time there are people that do believe in you and do love you. But then there's people that just kind of see you as a dollar sign. It's like, how much, it's like, what is your worth in this space, and you kind of have to, you kind of have to look at it that way as well. You kind of have to look at yourself that way sometimes and be like, I love my art and I love doing this, but also, I have to think about myself as they would see me as well. So it's hard. it's definitely hard.
And you know how I see you.
Yeah.
A Shogun.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
That's it. All right, so this song, exactly. Just waiting to prove yourself or be pressed into battle.
Exactly.
No surprise, there's a really sweet solo on the song. I love your guitar playing.
Thank you.
There's a moment in the song I love. You basically bring the song to a standstill, then you build it back up. Like, I love structurally what you're doing on this new song.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something that I've always loved in music, is that sort of like that wind up and punch. There's a song, it doesn't even have lyrics, but it's a song by Johnny A called Creagata. And the whole song is the sonic embodiment of like a 1950s detective smoking a cigarette going through his notes. And then it just kind of like full charge into a fight scene almost. And I've always loved that. I've always loved that moment of you're here and then they bring you down here and like, just have that moment of, okay, let's have this moment of silence and then we're right back into it. I've always loved that in music.
Totally. So the new song is Somebody Else. There's a lyric video for that.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
And it's available on all the streamers.
Mm-hmm.
There is an album on the way.
That's right.
Tell me about that.
So the album is done and mixed and everything. So that's great. We're kind of working with Tom and I are working with with different people trying to figure out if we can
Tom is your manager for people who don't know.
That's right. Yeah, Tom Schmall. So we're just trying to work on deals and everything and make sure it's the right one and make sure it's a good one. As much as I am a new artist, it's like I do sort of want to try to make this a good thing. So that's our plan for that.
See, and I wonder, this is a bigger conversation than we have the time or energy for on this podcast, but I feel like the music industry being in the position it's in right now, I feel like artists are more in the driver's seat than they've ever been, because an artist can walk away from a deal and still achieve some modicum of success. Whereas back in the 90s, it was kind of like an all or nothing proposition.
Yeah. And it's stuff like this. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, you can be a self-sustaining musician for a while without, a Sony or a whatever behind you.
Yeah. I mean, look, there's a guy named Eric Roberson that is really good. And he is a soul singer and he's got he goes to City Winery. He sells out 3-4 nights. Doesn't have a record label or anything like that. And he's, he's doing pretty well, but I think it is the internet that really that helps out. It's like I can reach to people that are 4,000 miles away from me,
which is the coolest.
Exactly. So, I mean, that's the thing is like, it's still a push pull. It's still like, you do want a record label. You do want a manager, an agent and all that stuff, because that does make your life easier.
Yeah.
Because
the creative side of the brain and the business side of the brain don't always work in concert with one another. Sometimes it's just easier to, I just want to be creative today. Can you please just help me book
somebody to do this? Yeah.
Negotiate this shit for me. I don't want to.
Yeah. It's like I don't even know what I don't even know what that sentence means right there, you know. So it's like somebody tell me what the hell that sentence means, and then we'll go from there. I that's the thing, is like I've always had to do it, so my brain is still very wired to the business side of it, and kind of being like, okay, what is that? You know, how much am I going to get for that? What is that? What does this mean? Like, you know, if I don't understand something, I will kind of go break that down in layman's terms for me. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that mean? Not lawyer speak, you know?
Right.
So, it's that's, you know, that's the thing, is like for artists that don't really know that side or don't really want to deal with that side, a lot of record labels will help them in that sense. But the people who are very, very business savvy, I would say, like, you know, like a Vic Menza, you know, like he knows exactly what's going on in every part of his business. He knows exactly what's happening at any given time. So it's like somebody like him, it's like he could essentially do it without a label and be just fine.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So that's on the way. And I'm no manager, I'm no expert on this, but I think you take whatever deal that's on the table where they're going to press up a bunch of vinyl for you. Just make sure you get this album pressed on vinyl.
You are probably the 12th person.
Stop it.
To ask me about that. Yeah. Man, I did another podcast called The Underground Sessions, and that guy hits me up daily almost and just says like, "Hey man, you got that song pressed to vinyl yet?" It's like, no, I don't.
It's a sickness. It's because the people asking, we all suffer from a sickness at this point.
I know.
It's an obsessive thing. It consumes us.
Somebody asked me, should I get into vinyl? And it was sort of like, you ever seen Dewey Cox, the Dewey Cox story?
Of course.
When he goes like, you don't want no part of this shit. That's sort of how I felt. It was like, you don't want a part of this. Like, you don't want to be in, like, yes, it's beautiful and it's great. But also you would drive yourself nuts looking for certain records and wanting, you'll be scouring Discogs at like 3 a.m. like, oh man, finally I found this album, and now you got to wait from like, there's this weird imprint from Germany that you paid $80 for that you're hoping that gets here and not damaged. It's such a problem.
It is. I went to the record convention that they do in Hillside at the Holiday Inn out there. Basically, it's like a bunch of old, like 55-year-old bearded white dudes selling Pablo Cruz records. But I was there before they opened at like 4:30 in the morning, waiting to get first crack at the records, and was looking around. I'm like, seriously, what am I doing here? What's become of me? Why can't I throttle back on this? Hey, am I too far gone now?
It's like Train Spotting when he like sees the baby and he's just like, I got to change my life,
That's it.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go back to you being a Shogun. Tell me about your favorite guitar.
Favorite guitar? Oh man. Well, I made a pandemic purchase, as everybody did. It was so my favorite guitar has always been an ES330. So much so that I actually have one tattooed on me. And so I finally got my hands on a Gibson ES330, and it was one of those things where I saw it on Reverb, and it was at Chicago Music Exchange, and I was kind of like, okay, well, I got the stimulus check. It's like, can I do this? Can I, like, I don't know. And so I was just like, you know what? There's no way that I'm going to have this opportunity again. It's in the color that I wanted. It's, it's like a limited edition color. So it was in the color I wanted. It was in the right price point. And I was like, there's no way that I'm ever going to get this opportunity again. I might as well just go ahead and do it. So that's been the guitar that I've been playing for a long time.
I love it. And that's, to me, and that's just self-care.
Yeah.
I mean, none of us were convinced we were going to make it to 2021 there for a while. So you got the money, you stimulated some local business, you stimulated yourself. It all makes sense to me.
Yeah, it was that moment of just like, well, the devil could come down the street tomorrow, so screw it. Let me go ahead and buy this guitar.
And if the devil comes down the street to the crossroads, damn it all, you'll be ready.
Exactly.
All right, so the new song, Nathan Graham, is it's available now. Again, anywhere you stream music, you can get it. It's Somebody Else. We can see you at Thalia Hall in scenic Pilsen on the 29th, and then Space opening up for the freaking Wallflowers in November. Not a bad way to kind of wind down the year.
Yeah, it's there's quite a bit going on. Oh, and December 15th, I'm playing at Sleeping Village with a new band called the Nets. They're 3 women, gorgeous harmonies. Actually, well, our friend Christina Catoni is in it.
A mega talented musician, performer in her own right. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
They might be hard to Google, though. That's my only concern.
For right now they are hard to Google, but they just did a podcast, the Underground Sessions, and they came out with 4 videos, so you can check that out too. So fantastic.
No, she's a mega talent. That's awesome news.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that's Sleeping Village in December. I love your stuff. I always have. I don't see you as a dollar sign. I just see you as an artist I love.
Thank you.
So I always appreciate having you on the show.
Yeah, me too, man. Thanks a lot.
All right, that's Nathan Graham. Go support him. Go see him. Go listen to him. In fact, when you're done watching or listening, go pull that song up, and it's just awesome. And it's just, I mean, it's bluesy. It's soulful. I love everything about it.
Thank you.